All right, pre-calc students once again. All right, bit of a mess. This is the bearing section. First video did we did application for law of sines and law of bearing. Took a point and said, okay, well, north, south. We got north, south, east, and west. And so from point A to point B, if I said that is 110 degrees, well, you'd have to go 90. 110, something like that, and it goes to point B. All right, so 0 degrees starting at the north, and you just go clockwise from there. There's another way as you're going to be seeing this also. Bearing can also be written like this. And I'm going to show you a different application problem involving that. Now, hopefully this one's a little bit easier, because first video I went over that. Second video I showed you guys how to use law of sines and application and all that, and use stuff that you learned from geometry about parallel lines to find bearings to a different point. I understand that it probably went over the head of some people. As I was doing it, I kind of realized too that it's like, oh yeah, this is it's a bit involved. Okay, so I'm not going to hold you accountable to know every single one of that. What you do want to look for is tomorrow's. I'll give you guys homework problems after this video as well. So the homework problems will be there. You'll try your best on it, absolutely. What I do want you guys to notice though is tomorrow's practice test. Tomorrow's practice test is what's going to have the chunk of what you need to know. So it may just be identifying certain things. So it may not be as involved as you think. So look for tomorrow's practice test. It might be a little more forgiving than you think, okay? And then if you don't understand it, you know what to do. Thursdays at, what's our time? 9 a.m. Thursdays, 9 a.m., the Zoom meeting. It's always the same ID, okay? So if you don't understand that and you have questions on the practice test, Thursdays, 9 a.m., or homework questions for that matter, okay? All right, so let's do the second type of problem we're going to do now. And this is going to be a tower problem, okay? Similar to the boat problem, but the bearings are going to be done a little bit different here, okay? So two towers are 12 miles apart, okay? Two towers are 12 miles apart, A being due east of B, due east. So A is east of B. So I'm going to put this here as a reminder. A being east of B. So if A is to the east, that means A is here and B is here, okay? A and B. And it says the thing is they're 12 miles apart. 12 miles apart. And that is east. It's due east. What that means basically is saying is directly east. It's not angled in any possible way, okay? It's not northeast. It's not southeast. No, it's directly east. It's a straight line is what it's telling us. Straight horizontal line. Okay. Next, it's saying, and then it says a fire is spotted from both towers. So from both towers, and a fire is spotted. How can I draw a tower? It kind of reminds me of like tower defense. Like that. Okay, it's like a tower. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I'm not gonna. You know what? Whatever. A fire is spotted from both towers, and we'll just call that. We'll just call that F, fire. Okay, fire is spotted from both towers, and it is, and this is how you're gonna see it. The way you read that is going to be 54 degrees southwest. Okay, you can think of it that way. So it's 54 degrees southwest from tower A. Okay, so 54 degrees southwest. So basically it's just telling you what that direction is. It's going to be southwest. So this angle right here is going to be 54 degrees. So you go to angle A and you go southwest. So we got 54 degrees. Okay. Okay. West, south, south, west. That right there from tower A, if you're looking at F, that's going to be 54 degrees. Next, it's saying from tower B, it is going to be 46 degrees south, east. So south and east. 46 degrees. Well, if I know that, then guess what? Oh, and then what's the question ask for? It asks for the distance from tower A to the fire. So from tower A to the fire, it wants to ask It wants to find out this. Okay, well, this is obviously a lot more simple than the last problem we've had because we're not dealing with true bearings, okay? And for this, we know 46, we know 54, triangle sum. Well, then this has to be, let's see, 46 and 54 is 100, so this has to be 80 degrees. Everybody see that? It has to be 80 degrees. So what are we going to use? We know a side and an angle. So we're going to be using law of sine. So let's do this. We can do the sine of 80. I'm literally just using law of sine. Sine of 80 over that side, which is 12. And then I want to use these two. So I'm going to use the sine of 46 over this side x. Law of sine, that's all I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. We're going to have sine of 80 times x. I'm going to do this one a little differently this time. Sine of 80 times x equals sine of 46 times 12. I'm going to like do the whole thing and then input in the calculator. And I'm going to divide this whole thing by sine of 80. Divide this side by sine of 80. So our final answer is going to be all this right here. So let's do all that on the calculator. Sine of 46. Okay, let me do that. Sine of 46, close parentheses, times 12. Okay, and we need to put this in parentheses. Times 12. All divided by sine of 80. That gets us 8.76. That gets us 8.76. That looks to be the right answer. So that means the distance from A to F is 8.76. Let me just double, triple check here that my calculator did it right. 0.98. Sine of 46, that times 12 is equal to that, divided by 0.98. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I rounded it a little bit, so this is probably a more accurate answer. But anyways, 8.76, and what is that? Miles. And that's it. Okay. So again, just to recap, it told us A is due east of B. So I know A is the east of B. They're 12 miles apart. Cool, I put a 12 there. And then there's a fire that they can both see. This fire is southwest by 54 degrees from A, making a triangle. And it is, if it's southwest from A, well then it's got to be southeast from B. That is right here, southeast from B, 46 degrees. Boom. So if this is 46 and 54, well then we know this has to be 80 because 180 degrees. Triangle is 180 degrees. Interior sum. If that's 80, well then now I can use law of sines to use the sine of that over 12. And then if the problem's asking for this side right here, then I'm going to use the sine of that over x. I could have done this also. I could still figure this out if I wanted. Okay, and that's it for this one. So this one's a lot easier. So what I'll probably do is probably concentrate more on this on the practice test. I want you guys to do both. I'm going to give you guys the homework problems, flip it over right now. And now this is definitely more doable. The bearing one is a little bit more complex. Flip that over. And again, this is something I would normally do 2 weeks on a regular school semester, okay? So number one is the difficult one, right? Oh no, so number one, sorry, this easier one is what we just did, okay? It's not the true bearing one, all right? Two towers 10 miles apart, literally just like what we did. A being due west of tower B, fire is spotted, okay, and it tells you the direction, and so on and so on. Okay, number two, boat sails from A with 120 degrees true bearing, 50 miles to B, and then sails on a bearing 230 degrees true bearing for 85 miles to C. And it asks you, essentially these questions it's asking you every single part of that triangle. Asking for, so now this part, I feel like this part A, which is asking you for the side length, is doable. These two are just a little more complex. So this is the first video, second video, third video, this video right here that we're doing right here. These are not going to be easy. Okay, I'm just letting you know right now. I will limit how much I ask on that on the practice test as well. And I'll probably come back to it the week after. Okay, so I'll probably most likely do another video again, another review again next week, going over some of this stuff. Okay. All right, thanks, guys.